Well, I believe in the United Nations. I think it needs to be changed. I don't like having troops under the United Nations authority, but I believe in global cooperation. The international treaty deal, I do have problems with a lot of things where the United States tries to deal with their sovereignty on some issues. But, and while Tom got into the environmental thing, I guess I got a bit of a tree hugger myself, but I do believe that the world, we need some more cooperation. I don't know about this 50% landmass deal, but I think in the future, we're going to have to cooperate as a world, I think, in some ways, as far as the oceans and the air and some of the environmental issues. Because, I think I kind of go the other way on that, Tom. So we just ended it at that. But if you want to
I just had a question about minimum wage. I believe that the minimum wage law that was passed and signed goes into effect this week, that the first increase, incremental increase, I don't know exactly, 80 cents or whatever it is this time around, that it goes into effect this week. And if you were in Congress in this past Congress, would you have voted for the increase in the minimum wage?
Talking to a couple small business owners here. I would have voted against it. And I know that's not a popular view. I employ people, and I won't have to raise anybody because I already pay them more than that. But when I did have that restaurant, I don't know if you were here, I spoke to a restaurant when I first got out of college. I almost went bankrupt. I think I paid my brother's minimum wage for doing dishes. But it's tough, when you're a business person and you're trying to make it, you want to provide jobs, and then the government says, no, we're going to tell you what to pay people. And I mean, the idea of the Wisconsin Restaurant Association, which I'm involved, what we would like to see is it called something different. I mean, there's a living, they talk about living wage or something like that, and it's a little different idea. I mean, I don't expect people to get $4.25 and try to provide for a family of four, and that's what they always talk about. But there is a type of thing for college students or for high school kids where, unfortunately, some of those jobs are going to be gone. I mean, some restaurants, the owner will probably do them themselves rather than pay that $5 to do the dishes for them. So I have a problem with it, and that's why.
That I was reading over the details of that piece of legislation, and you can tell this whole bill is just a compromise bill. They have increasing the minimum wage, then they have to lure other people into voting for it. They're offering additional discounts on businesses who are, reinvesting in machinery. I mean, it is a classic, just a sad compromise bill. I mean, as an example, in the whole state of Wisconsin, there are 14,500 something families that the head of the household makes a minimum wage, right? So Jerry Clutchka, the Democrats are out there saying, this bill is going to, do the best for working families, 14,000. On the other hand, Jerry Clutchka votes against the $500 per child tax credit. 560,000 homes would have been affected by that piece of legislation. As far as, is it really going to help people? No, because as a business owner, if I pay my people far more than that, the people that pay people a minimum wage are going to have to pass that price on to their customer. I mean, it's not like, it is just going to add to inflation. It is, I guess, this whole other mentality that people in the government have that don't understand the marketplace, and that people's wages are based on their ability to produce. And I have had people that I've tried in my printing business who are not worth the minimum wage. They're just slow. They're, I tried hiring disabled people, people that are sort of don't have it all in their brain. To bring them in, to try to train them. Well, somebody else like that one too. But Rod, the fellow I tried helping out, he's an example of our government system gone awry. He's on Social Security. I say, Rod, I'll teach you a trade. You can come on in for $4.25 an hour. I'll hire you full-time, I'll teach you, you'll have good working habits. Instead, he doesn't want to participate, he'd rather just get his disability check. All right, so am I against it? I mean, I really couldn't say, it is not a good thing, increasing, it is not really going to help people, like the Democrats are out there saying.
Just to follow up, Mr. Melton, to answer the question right away that you wouldn't have voted for it. My question was, if you were in Congress, would you have voted yes or no on the minimum wage?
Again, it is, if I would have been in Congress, I would believe I would not have voted on it.
So you wouldn't have voted?
I would not have voted to increase that.
Thanks.
I would have voted for the $500 per child tax credit.
Ryan,
Yeah, one of the most decisive issues right here in Milwaukee is school choice. Now, Tommy Thompson instituted school vouchers, and that's similar to a model that we've seen in the Northeast regions. And we've got the NEA, which is so dead set against it. They're distributing a lot of money to President Clinton, Democratic candidates, because they don't want school choice. They want to keep them monopoly on schools. Even though we've seen that school choice has led to higher test scores, not only for those students that leave the public schools for the private schools, but in the public inner city public schools as well. What is your take on school vouchers, and do you plan on expanding that program when you get in Congress?
yes, I mentioned it earlier, I'm definitely for that. And as I said, my wife's a teacher, and she's for it. I mean, you bring up the NEA, and by the way, you ask that like a politician, like a future politician. But the NEA, I mean, what I don't understand, and my argument to them is, why are you afraid of competition? I mean, if the argument is that some of the schools in school choice program will take the toughest kids, so they get the breaks, but they do these programs, the private schools do it for much lower cost than the public schools. So I don't know why, what I hope that the school choice would do, it would create a better public school system, and it would create a bit more involvement of parents who would take their kids maybe to a school they prefer, rather than they feel like there's a problem situation where they are. And hopefully, in the short run, maybe, yeah, I prefer our public school system a bit. But I think, I'm a capitalist, I'll admit it. I believe in free enterprise and competition. And if we could have more competition in our schools, I think that we would all be better off, and certainly the kids would be much better off.
We're on the same side on that one. I believe in free markets and injecting competition in education. And as much as possible, I would work to have all that spending control go through parents. Because parents, they can make the best choice on how they want to educate their child. I know in the inner city of, on the south side, the people want desperately to send their children to institutions of learning that will promote the value system that they believe. And if they had to do that, I think we'd see good change in our society, because education today is an indoctrination process into a thought system with the exclusion of other thought systems out there. And we want to put parents in control of that. I mean, if people want to send their child to a school and have them indoctrinated in humanism, that would be fine. But most parents don't want that. That is not their own personal value system. So give the control to parents in any way possible.